Yeah, you pay taxes, I pay taxes. These developments don't, not a penny. We're talking millions in tax revenue for our cities and schools being diverted to what's supposed to be an effort to spur affordable housing. But our investigation found deals being approved here in large numbers by one entity in South Texas with a board of directors and just a single employee to oversee these deals. And every time it approves a tax exemption in our area, that entity makes money off the deal, earning in general 15 cents for every dollar of taxes we in North Texas lose out on. On this South Dallas city block, a new apartment complex is going up, one that will pay no property tax. In exchange for a promise to provide affordable housing, the dozen lots this development sits on have disappeared from the area's tax rolls. Dallas County doesn't even track their value anymore because of their total exemption status. These were deals struck not by the city of Dallas or any local entity, but by one more than 500 miles away in Brownsville. The Cameron County Housing Finance Corporation's website says its mission is to finance affordable housing projects across Cameron County. But if you actually look at its projects here, you'll find they're all over the state. See Houston, Corpus Christi, Fort Worth, Odessa. County appraisal records we reviewed show the corporation owns property in Dallas, Fort Worth, McKinney, Irving, Louisville, and Euless, as well as a dozen other Texas cities outside its jurisdiction.
We would be very concerned to find that HFCs are established by a jurisdiction in one part of the state and putting units on the ground in another part of the state.
Ben Martin with Texas Housers says housing finance corporations, or HFCs, are meant to take advantage of special rules to help create low-income housing for the community they serve.
The worst case is that these deals end up being kind of tax shelters for developers while not really providing any benefit to the public or to the households that so desperately need this housing.
And it's not just new construction. Within the last year, we found Cameron County's HFC has approved deals with 2 properties in Irving that have been around for decades. Together, they paid close to $1 million in property taxes last year. Now, they'll pay 0. And residents we spoke to say their rent, well,
it's gone up. That's all it's ever done as long as I've been here, gone up. And, you know, I started off paying like $1,150. Now I pay almost $1,500 a month.
Is that affordable?
Almost, barely, just barely.
Both properties, residents told us, have recently been painted. Potholes have been fixed. And now the Las Colinas Heights complex's website advertises it as a luxurious community. But if it were up to Kobe Payton, he'd prefer the tax savings trickle down to the people who live here.
The break on the rent, for sure, it would help a lot.
Getting a hold of Cameron County's HFC itself wasn't simple. The phone number and address listed online are out of date, and the last meeting listed online happened back in 2017. But then I realized I wasn't the only one looking for answers. In August, Cameron County commissioners summoned the HFC's board.
This court has had some questions and concerns.
And asked it to explain the out-of-county deals it's been making with developers.
We provide a tax-exempt entity.
You give them the shelter, the tax shelter, so that they don't, so that they're able to operate or invest in this housing project and not be taxed on it.
In return,
is that right?
Yes.
Okay, and then what does the finance corp get out of that?
We get a certain amount of fees.
Executive Director Mark Yates, the HFC's sole employee, said it normally collects 15% of whatever tax savings developers get. In one recent negotiation, though, he said it agreed to accept $500,000 up front. And within 2 years, it's earned millions.
We grew our cash balance from $250,000 to $6 million.
To put it simply, the HFC's board president, Sergio Gonzalez, explained in a memo, quote, "We participate in deals that are outside of Cameron County in order to take those funds and invest them here locally."
They are deliberately misusing what could be a good tool to provide affordable housing.
State Representative Gary Gates, who led reform of a similar tax break program, was surprised to learn of the widespread Cameron County HFC deals.
How is this happening? And this is where I am just taken back.
The HFC's board says communities like the ones here in North Texas where these projects are happening benefit when the developers use their tax savings to reinvest in the properties. Gates isn't sure that's actually happening, and he worries the ultimate price will fall to you and me.
And this is going to be costly to all the other property taxpayers in the state of Texas.
Cameron County's HFC did not respond to our request for an interview, but it did provide us with public records, including a list of ways it is using its funds to benefit low-income families in South Texas. Representative Gates says it's the developers involved who are really making a personal profit here, and he's now working to unmask who they are. I did reach out to companies managing these properties locally, but I'm still waiting to hear back.